Welcome back, woodworkers. So the veneer has cured here, and I've got this one dialed in, so this one looks good. I wanted to save one of these to show you the process, and with this platen, this I managed to glue to or adhere to this end. So I wanted to actually show you how I approach this, and I kind of don't hate this. So with a sharp cutting tool, I'm going to use my marking knife. This one's an old jointer knife, which I kind of love for this application because I have a flat back over here, and I could put this, I could rest it right against whatever my substrate is and start cutting. And oops, I'm going to try to do this in such a way that makes sense. Alright, so that one is gone. I'm going to start with the end grain parts here and here, and then I'll continue to cut this veneer off, I should say. Because technically you can't continue to start anything, because that would be inaccurate. Okay, so gone. Now this outside face is a little bit simpler to do than the interior, but I'm going to use the back, the flat part on this. I'm going to try to follow that shape to the best of my abilities without cutting into the veneer on the face. So that's good, almost there. Great, cool. Alright, last one. Got a little squeeze out in here which I didn't deal with, but that is okay. So now I'm using the bevel to get in here, and that bevel is going to function as the guide for this piece. Alright, so that's gone. Oh, lovely. So it's still glued in somehow. I don't know how. Alright, selecting the bottom, I'm going to use this as a wedge, which is not ideal in any application. Using the right tools. Man, this is really on there. Alright. Great. That could have been much worse. Alright. So now the surfaces feel pretty great. Cool. Alright. So I'm done with all the calls, I'm done with all the other stuff, the platens. And now when it comes to adhering, for this application I'm just going to adhere the top. On the bottom I'm going to have solid wood material for my design. Pardon me. So I'm just going to be adhering the top. So any of these scrap pieces that you've had from the other glue up, that would actually be perfect. Alright. So because I don't need or have any sizing issues to deal with, I can just go right into adhering this or veneering this one on. Great. Nice and even, as with most applications with a roller. I think this is where I want to put it. Alright. Cool. I like melamine as a platen for this. That's pretty great. If there is any squeeze out, this is far less likely to bond to the veneer or the squeeze out. And I'm going to, I don't know that I need all 4 clamps, but I'll probably use 3 of them just for good measure. And what I'm watching for, like any glue up, is the amount of squeeze out that I'm getting, and I'm not getting. So good squeeze out here, not so much on the interior. So maybe I want to add a third and kind of cheat this one a little bit. So I'm going to angle this clamp just a little bit, so it's going to, by angling this, it's going to pull It's going to pull that drawer front back in a bit. So we'll ease off on the pressure of this second clamp. Yeah, I think that's good. Got to be careful about how much pressure I apply here because I already have my groove in place. If I really lay into this clamp, this could start to compromise in a way that I really don't care to bounce back from. Alright. Alright, that looks pretty good. The other thing that I did on the last video, which I didn't share with you, is cleaning up the squeeze out. And I know that this drives most woodworkers crazy, maybe not most, but the ones that are vocal about this process. I want to clean this stuff up now. I don't want to wait for it to dry. I definitely don't want to watch a clock and wait for this to get gummy and then scrape it out. I just want to deal with it. Yes, I know we're dealing with veneer. Yes, I know that this is a fragile or a vulnerable option for getting this stuff taken out. But with a dry brush, but enough water in here to actually wash away this glue before it cures, I think this is the best opportunity to deal with this. I really don't want to have to sand or scrape or deal with this later. It's definitely going to interfere with the cutting or removing of this material when I need to, so I just want to wash this out. Alright, great, 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 great. So, in thinking about this, all of the excess water that I've gotten goes onto the waste side of this piece of veneer. So I kind of don't care what any of this looks like. What I am worried about is the amount of water that I introduce on the face here. That could start to get problematic if I really spend a lot of time there, or more importantly, massaged a lot of water into that environment because it's relatively fragile or vulnerable. So I don't want this to delaminate. I don't want this wood to swell. Alright, so that way I'm good. With the amount of squeeze out that I have in the center on the inside, it's really not much. So it shouldn't take a lot for me to deal with this, but my preference is always to deal with this while that adhesive is malleable and soft, and I don't want to wait for it to cure. If I do that, then I know I'm going to ask for trouble. But I'm happy with this. Alright, so this is the operation. If I did want to veneer the bottom of this, I would do the same thing. I would have some type of a platen on this. I would glue them up at the same time. This is, if I don't do this, if I take turns and glue this one on and then I glue this one on, I'm basically spending twice the amount of time for this operation, and it doesn't make any sense. So I would just get another platen, whatever, solid wood. This time not gluing it on, melamine, MDF, whatever, as long as it's flat. And then that way I don't have to worry about the damage that these clamps could do to the surface. And if I was worried about the groove that exists in here, by introducing another platen over the whole surface, none of that becomes an issue anymore, because it's going to be, the pressure is going to be broadcast over this area, and I really don't have to worry about just being able to pinpoint some pressure that would cause this to be compromised. Alright, that's the glue up. I'll give this a half an hour or so and then trim this stuff off, and then I'm ready to start assembling my drawer all together. Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys later.